Hey, this is Bert Brocker, head coach of Texan Buick and GMC, and I'm proud to bring you the Tailgate from Texan Plaza. That's right, at the all-new Turner Stadium. And this year, it's going to be hosted by the one and only from 610 Sports Radio, Mr. John Lopez.
All right, who doesn't like a good tailgate? Everybody likes to tailgate, especially right here at beautiful Humble's Turner Stadium. This is the tailgate at Texan Plaza. I'm John Lopez. That's Bert Brocker over there, the boss man that brought us all this at Texan Plaza. Y'all can talk. It's a tailgate. Just don't make too much noise. We're trying to do a show here. All right, I'm John Lopez. Like I said, Bert Brocker is there. We have a big show for you today. This beautiful lady right here is Carrie Brinsden. We'll get to her in just a second. We're going to have Kingwood College basketball. Believe it or not, they're going to make a stop by. I might have to go bother them for a little bit. Aaron Glenn, all he did was play in the NFL. Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, New York Jets. He'll be joining us here as well in this show today. And of course, the team of the week, the big handsome guys in the back, that's Humble High School basketball. We'll be getting to them here. Yeah, don't be bashful. We'll be getting them in a little bit, of course. And who are these pretty girls behind me? That is the Wildcatdets, Humble Wildcatdets from Humble High School. And I guess the little ones are freshmen. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. But we're going to start right here with Carrie Brinsden, and it is the Humble Independent School District is where Turner Stadium is. And I know Bert has a really good affinity for Humble District, but Carrie Brinsden is on the Humble Independent School District Education Foundation. And I'm going to let you start this, Bert, because I know it's a big project down here.
Absolutely. 3 years ago, I got involved with the rodeo, and that's how I got introduced to Carrie. Our dealership sponsors it. And, last year I got an opportunity to go on the posse, and just absolutely is unbelievable to go out there and see all these grants that are handed out to these teachers that I guess, and that's where the question's going, is how do the teachers exactly put in their data to see who actually gets qualified for the grants?
Well, actually, what the foundation does is we have a group of 30 community board members, and basically we spend a year raising funds to get back to go back into our schools, all the schools in the Humble, Kingwood, Atascocita area. And what we do is we encourage teachers, if they've got a project, any innovative special project that they want to implement in their classrooms, be it learning gardens, robotics, you name it, if they need the funds for that, we want them to be able to come to us. So
they're essentials, but they're also considered hard to get. I mean, the money is hard to get, and this is where you guys come in. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are like, well, the district has a lot of money, and that's not exactly the case.
No, and I think hopefully our listeners out there know we're hurting. The economy's in a tough time, and our district is hurting, and we don't have the extra funds to give these teachers for the projects. And we know our teachers work their heinies off to teach our kids. And the problem we have is when they can't get the resources, it affects our children. So that is why the foundation exists. We want the teachers to be able to have those experiences for those kids, to get the funding for that. So if they can dream it, hopefully we can be able to fund it. So basically how we do that is we have a grant process. It's an application, it's online, it's easy, it's about a 3-page application, and all the teachers know they can fill it out.
Now, the results of these projects are standing right behind us, and we know what that means. Let's get the essentials out of the way here. Website, and what are the fundraising events? I know you have a golf tournament. Tell me about some of the things you have coming up.
We absolutely, and that's our first big fundraiser of the year that we have coming up, is our golf tournament. It is on Wednesday, November 2nd. We're looking for players, so anybody interested in golf, please sign up. It's at Kingwood Country Club. We take over the forest and the marsh courses. It is a great tournament, lots of fun, food, prizes, but at the end of the day, it is a fundraiser for money that goes straight back into our district and into these teachers' grants, and hopefully back to these guys behind us, the kids.
Now, Bert, I know I've seen you in the golf tournament. I've seen your golf game. We'll just leave it at that. And I also know what you do for these kids, and are you going to have the gala again, and are you going to have an event?
We absolutely are going to have our gala again. That's going to be in the spring, but we also have, and you're going to talk later, our Humble Rodeo that the foundation is a benefactor for, that the proceeds of the Humble Rodeo go to us. So those are our marquee events, but we also have employee appeals. We have great community sponsors, individual corporate sponsors. So last year we raised over $1 million, and we're hoping we can do that again this year, but we need support from the people in our area to do that. So sign up for the golf tournament, come to the gala in the spring, but really at the end of the day, it's money that stays in the community and it goes directly to our kids, and we would love it if you'd consider supporting us.
Now, Bert, you got that hat on your head, Texan Buick GMC. You're sponsoring the Plaza right here. Tell me about the Humble Rodeo, and you've seen some results of what you do, what you give, and what you give to Humble ISD, what it can mean.
Well, you know, it's a great deal, and I'm going to save that actually for Stacy Williams, the president of the rodeo, because he's going to be with us a little later on, and it's just unbelievable. You know, you watch everybody get involved, but it is a 10th anniversary, so I'll just kind of give the segment of it's going to be really, really exciting, and I'll let him pass on the good news here a little later in the program.
Very good. All right, a couple more things. Give out the website again, and if you can, the dates on your events.
Well, the main one right now is November 2nd for our golf tournament, and you can go to Humble ISD Foundation.org, and there is actually a link if you're interested in signing up for a team. It's super easy. You can sign it up online, and you're registered to go.
All right, I got to talk a little sports with her because she's a good Aggie. So we got Aaron Glenn on the way over here. The Aggies took one on the chin against Oklahoma State, but I know you're a big sports fan, and how you think they'll end up in the SEC?
Okay, I'm going to remain positive on this one. I'm going to remain optimistic and hope we do well.
You're going to leave it to Aaron Glenn?
We need Aaron back playing.
Right.
No, hopefully it was just an anomaly. We'll come out, we'll beat Arkansas this week. But, you know, I think it's a great move for A&M. It's the right move at this time. Great teams in the SEC. I'm looking forward to traveling to some new venues. But, you know, I think we'll do okay. I'm going to remain optimistic and hope for the best.
You always are. All right, this is the tailgate at Texan Plaza. Coming up is going to be Aaron Glenn. Played in the NFL, like I told you. Did so many things for the community as well. Has a good project himself that he's working on. We're going to get to that. But let's talk Texans. Let's talk college football. Let's talk about Humble. Believe it or not, the guy played here, played in Humble, grew up in the area. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Y'all know how to make any noise back there? We'll be back to the tailgate at Texan Plaza.
Stay tuned to the tailgate at Texans Plaza.
Back at beautiful Turner Stadium. I'm John Lopez. This is the tailgate at Texan Plaza. We are back, and we are having a good time. We're going to get to the good crowd behind us. A good crowd here today at Turner Stadium. As always, this is the tailgate at Texan Plaza, brought to you by Bert Brocker. He's the one that wrote the check for that little plaza out there, and of course, we're having a lot of fun. He loves supporting the community and the schools. Bert, let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, I got an opportunity to meet Aaron about 12 years ago and stayed in contact with him. It was when he was first coming here into the Texans organization, and his partner, Jason Medlock, also was his agent, and it was just a really great fit. They had 31 properties and some Frenchies, and now they got an unbelievable opportunity that he's going to talk about here in a little bit. So anyway, Aaron's just a great guy. He's down to earth. You know, he played 15 years, I was going to say 14, 15 years in the NFL, and first time I met him, I go, damn, you're little. But anyway, it is what it is, but the man was unbelievable. So
15 years in the NFL and 4 big years at Texas A&M University. I still remember that 97-yard interception return against Texas?
98.
98.
Give me my yard.
I'll give you your extra yard. I want you to give him that. It is Aaron Glenn. I was at that game. I went, that guy's pretty good. He might have a future in the NFL. And he does. All right, Aaron, let's talk about the NFL now. You
Gotcha.
played 15 years, Jets, Cowboys, Texans. Did I miss anybody?
Jacksonville the Saints.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if you
Jacksonville
wanna
the
say
Saints. A lot of frequent flyer miles there.
Yes, it is.
But certainly a tremendous player and very familiar. This week I want to talk specifics about this Texans defense.
Okay.
It has been in the spotlight all season long, all off season. The 3-4 defense. A lot of our listeners say, well, 3-4. They don't exactly know what it is. It's 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, rush hands. How does that affect you guys in the secondary?
Well, you know, it really doesn't affect the secondary that much. The one thing that we're going to do in the secondary, we're going to play cover 3, we're going to play man, we're going to play cover 2, so that doesn't change.
Yeah.
What changes more than anything is the amount of time that the quarterback has to throw the ball because of the way the defense is made. So the dynamics of the front 7 changes a lot, but as far as secondary, no change at all.
But you have to like it because it's a pressure-oriented defense.
I love it. I've been in it 13 of my 15 years playing in 3-4, and I've always loved it. I actually predicate a lot of my interceptions on playing in 3-4 because I get a chance to jump routes and things
Able
like
to
that.
gamble a little bit?
Because I know where the rush is coming from. If you know where the rush is coming from, you can tell where the hot routes are and you get a chance to jump routes. And
that's why I wanted to talk specifics this week. Everybody wants to know, well, what's the difference with Wade Phillips? I'll start there. You know, what is the biggest difference that you've seen with this team so far?
You know what? I think that the first thing that I see is I think they really believe. I think they ran into a buzzsaw last week now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you run into a guy like Drew, I mean, it's a tough deal. But I really think that they believe in what Wade is telling them. Now, what's going to be the deal is this week.
Right.
Okay, how are they going to come back? That's going to be the difference on them being the elite team that they want to be. How are they going to come back and play against this team, which it's going to be a hard-nosed fight.
Sure.
And we want to see how this team's come back and react to what happened last week.
All right, now let's talk about what you've seen so far in terms of learning curve.
Yeah.
You grew up in the 3-4 basically,
Yes.
Especially in the NFL. But a lot of these guys haven't, specifically Mario Williams.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. And I wanted to say, talk about that. They had a good first start of the season. Then Drew Brees got a hold of them.
Yeah.
And the learning curve, they dropped back. Are you seeing things that you think they can get there from here?
Well, I think the one thing that we all, including myself, that's a diehard Texan fan, is this is the first year in the 3-4 without training. Well, they had a small training camp. Anything before that, they try to do something on their own, but it's not the same when you have coaches out there. Actually teaching you what to do. And that's a total difference. So we got to be patient.
Right.
We got to be patient. Man, I want these guys to win every game just like everybody else.
Sure.
But we got to be realistic and understand what they went through for the summer getting into this training camp. So it's going to take some time. I think they're going to do well. I think they have the pieces to do it.
Yeah.
We just have to be patient with it.
A couple of other things that we talk about. I know I talked about on the show on Sports Radio 610, the so-called it factor. You know, does Matt Schaub have it?
Okay.
Do these guys have it?
Okay.
In terms of when it's a close game, when it's the fourth quarter and you're at New Orleans, and you've got a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter, why didn't they have it to close that game out? What does it take to get that so-called thing?
Well, I will say this first off, and this is just across the league. I don't care what team you're on. Everybody looks at the quarterback first, period.
Yeah.
The way the team goes usually is the attitude of the quarterback. And I had a chance to play with Drew Brees. Unbelievable leader. Unbelievable. When I tell you that he's a guy that everyone followed because he had that it factor. And the one thing that we knew about Drew is when the game's on the line, he wants the ball in his hands. And to me, that's how I look at quarterback.
So let's start with Matt Schaub. Can he get there?
You know what? I think he can. I think he can. I'm a big-time 16 radio listener.
He's one of our best listeners.
And I hear people talking about his face. I mean, listen, guys. Don't worry about how he looks.
That doesn't matter. I talk about Aaron Rodgers.
And he looks
bored. Yeah, he looks bored.
Don't worry about the way he looks. This guy here wants to be good. And he has the makeup to be good. So let's give him time to actually grow into that and be the quarterback this team wants him to be.
All right, real quick, let's talk to college sports.
Gotcha.
We know the SEC's got A&M now. That's your squad. I want to get your first impressions on that and how, you know, they're going to make money. It's going to be a great business decision. Let's talk about the competitive aspect. They're a top 15 team right now. How do you think that'll stack up?
You know what? When I look at the SEC right now, you take the team that we just lost to Oklahoma State. I mean, if they go in the SEC and play now, they're going to beat a lot of teams too. And we lost that game. We shouldn't have lost the game. We lost that game on turnovers.
Right.
And if you look at the teams in the SEC, I see maybe 3 teams that really would give us a hard time. That's it.
Right.
And I know it's hard for people to understand, but when you go down the line, it's only 3 teams that I think that will be a hard win.
This is a good squad. The Aggies have, and it's a good place to start.
Exactly.
All right, I want you to talk. You can't see them, but there's some basketball players.
I know some of those guys. I know one of them in particular.
You know them?
For me.
He played for you.
Kendall.
Kendall, raise your hand. He played for you.
Yeah, him and my son played together for 2 years.
All right, I do.